My son's voice on the phone trembled in a way I had never heard before. "Dad, it's him. The CO, he hit me." I froze, my fingers tightening around the receiver, my heart hammering with a mixture of rage and disbelief. My son, disciplined, strong, loyal, and yet terrified. I could hear the faint clatter of the bass behind him, the shuffle of boots, the cold authority in voices that should have protected him. I didn't speak at first. Words wouldn't help. This required strategy. Observation. Every emotion had to be measured. Every step calculated. I drove to the base the next morning, claiming nothing more than a concerned parent. A retired officer would be suspicious. I needed to blend to appear ordinary, unassuming. The gates loomed before me, steel and barbed wire, a fortress of order and secrecy. I nodded politely at the guard. "I'm here to check on my son, concerned for his well-being." The words slipped easily from my lips, but inside, a storm raged. Inside, the training floor smelled of polish and sweat, discipline and unspoken fear. Officers moved in precise patterns, but eyes flickered toward me as I asked routine questions. I watched, listened, cataloged. There it was, small signs, a smirk, a word exchanged, a glance, evidence of what had already been whispered over the phone. And my son, standing stiff, eyes averted, trying to be brave, but the fear in his posture betrayed everything. The day unfolded with a cruel clarity. They tried to dismiss me, to wave away concern as overreaction. But I had patience, the weapon of anyone who has waited, who has documented, who knows that silence can be sharper than any scream. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to threaten. I needed truth. And truth, when pursued carefully, is unstoppable. By midday I had pieced together a pattern. Small injuries my son tried to hide. Abrupt assignments that left him exhausted. Reports quietly altered, words erased from logs. Every detail, a thread leading to the man responsible. I took notes discreetly, committing them to memory as if my mind were a ledger of justice. The CO moved through the base like he owned not only the walls, but the people within them. Power hung around him, suffocating, arrogant, unchecked. I waited for the right moment, observing him from the shadows. His confidence, the casual cruelty, the way he dismissed complaints, it was all predictable. My son, meanwhile, rehearsed his own small acts of courage, telling me details he feared to whisper in front of anyone else. I listened, recorded, confirmed every lie the CO had spun to cover his brutality. Every excuse. Every attempt to make the victim feel at fault. I let it all accumulate. Patience had become my weapon. Then the opportunity appeared. A training session, a report misfiled, a witness unaware of the impact of their observation. I moved with calm precision, questioning, documenting, ensuring that every detail could withstand scrutiny. The officer's smirk faltered the first time I pressed a question, the first time I refused to let the story bend to his version of reality. The base had rules, but rules were meaningless without enforcement. And I would enforce them, not with threats, but with evidence, with undeniable truth. By evening, the CO's confidence had shifted. He didn't know yet that the quiet man observing, noting, calculating, would be the one to expose him. He thought the hierarchy protected him. He thought the system would bend, that his authority was untouchable. But he had underestimated one thing: a father who refuses to let lies and violence go unchecked. I left the base that night with the weight of strategy in my chest, the beginnings of resolution forming, ready for the confrontation that would finally make the truth impossible to ignore. The next morning I returned with every piece of evidence meticulously organized. Witness statements, timestamps, reports, photos, everything that proved what had been hidden for too long. The CO's confident posture wavered when I presented the facts. His words stumbled. Excuses evaporated under the weight of truth. My son stood beside me, eyes wide, trembling not from fear but from the dawning realization that justice, finally, was within reach. The investigation moved swiftly. The CO could no longer hide behind rank or intimidation. His actions, once invisible behind authority, were now undeniable. Slowly, the whispers on the base became acknowledgement. People who had turned a blind eye had to face the reality they could no longer ignore. My son's courage, combined with preparation and patience, had broken the wall of silence. When it was over, my son and I walked out together, the weight lifted, the air lighter than it had been in months. He looked at me, a small smile of relief and pride on his face. I didn't speak, words weren't needed. Justice had been served quietly, without chaos, without revenge, only truth. And sometimes, that is the most powerful victory of all.